Hello, beautiful peaches. Welcome to the Macros, Metabolism, and Motivation Beautiful Peach Podcast. I'm your host, Caitlen, a reverse diet expert, sustainable fat loss nerd, and food freedom lover. After healing my own mind, body, and metabolism from the icky, restrict, binge, food guilt cycles, I became obsessed with helping other women do the same. I spent 6 years getting my bachelor's and master's degrees in all things nutrition, dietetics, and metabolism health, go Clemson Tigers, in order to start a science-backed, never cookie-cutter, always customized online macro and reverse diet coaching business. I have supported over 3,500 incredible women in their journey to endless results, and I am so excited to help you do the same. In this podcast, I will be teaching you how to break up with the yo-yo diet cycles, tips and tricks to heal your metabolism through reverse dieting. I will be giving away my sustainable weight loss secrets, all without you having to give up a single food you love. So if you're ready to rediscover that self-love and truly become the most confident, beautiful peach possible, grab a pen and a piece of paper, bump up your volume just a little, and let's dive right in. And don't forget to snag your completely free high-protein macro cookbook. All you need to do is submit a quality 5-star rate and review on this podcast, then fill out the form in the show notes so I know exactly where to send your cookbook. This will actually also automatically enter you into the weekly macro calculator giveaway. Every week, I give away a copy of my C. Schmidt macro calculator to one lovely, beautiful peach who has left an awesome 5-star rate and review on this podcast. The winner is announced every single week in my email newsletter email list, as well as my Instagram story. You can't miss it. So leave that 5-star rate and review, and I will see you in the episode. What is up, my beautiful peach? I feel like I tried to sing that and it did not work. I am kind of losing my voice and that sounded probably terrible, but we are A-okay with it because we're gonna keep on rolling. I am very, very excited about this episode because it's all about how to avoid holiday weight gain, my top 5 tips for weight loss and avoiding binge eating around the holidays. I have 5 tips that are going to be so incredibly powerful. I really highly suggest you actually get a pen and a piece of paper out or take notes on your phone, anything like that. I am a big note taker, so I highly suggest this. And I'm also going to walk through for each of these 5 tips why it actually works because I am so big about the education behind things. If you have ever been in one of my coaching programs or my 6-week challenge, which I still honestly see as a coaching program, I'm really big about educating the what, the why, and the how. It is one of those things where if we don't understand what we're doing, and it's my biggest pet peeve when I hear somebody who comes to me and they said that their, dietitian was telling them to eat, number one, 1,200 calories. I have somebody who just enrolled into BPM eating 1,200 calories because her dietitian told her to, gave her a meal plan, and she kept asking why, and the dietitian kept saying, because I said so. And number one, that is way too low of a calorie intake. And number 2, if you can't tell a person why, what you doing? So without further ado, let's dive into this episode because I get to educate you on the why. Let's dive in how to avoid holiday weight gain. My 5 tips, top tips for weight loss and avoiding binge eating around the holidays. All right, we're diving into tip number 1. Pre-planning and adjusting your macros for flexibility. Now, I know this sounds very, very simple, but I even literally now, if I don't pre-plan and I don't make sure I have a game plan, I am way more, it is way more possible that I'm gonna get a little bit on the off-track side. And I will say that for me, pre-planning is just almost second nature, but there are times when life is just, when I'm traveling or something like that, when I'm like, oh shoot, I haven't actually thought this through, and I can tell the difference, okay? So by anticipating the holiday meals, the holiday treats, and actually planning your macros in advance,
it can be a make or break. And I want to also bring into this, a lot of times during the holidays, especially on the weekends, it might be completely full of eating out, of doing fun things, of enjoying, different scenarios. I am a huge fan of holiday pop-up bars. I don't know if they do them everywhere. They had them in Jacksonville and they were so much fun. And they have mocktails too. So for anybody who is not an alcohol person, they have fun mocktails, and it allows you to, or not allows you to, they take like different restaurants and bars and they like deck it out with all of the holiday decor, and they have fun holiday cocktails and they have like fun names to them. And I don't know, it's really cute and it's a really fun vibe. I am like such a holiday person. So a lot of times for the holidays, like maybe you're going to a holiday pop-up bar on a Friday, maybe you have a holiday cookie party on Saturday, and then maybe you're hanging out with the family on Sunday and making more holiday treats, whatever it may be. And so what I really, really suggest with all of my clients, I actually suggest taking one free meal. So what you can do in these situations for the pre-planning, I would also recommend writing this down. I think I said this earlier, but again, really write this down because there's a lot of action steps in this episode. But pre-plan for that free meal. So if you know that let's say on Friday you're going out to eat and you're like, oof, I don't really know, what dinner's going to be. I know I'm going to have fun cocktails, but I don't really know what dinner is going to be. Go ahead and take that as your free meal because there is a more of a variability in what you might be eating. And then on Saturday, you're like, hey, okay, well, I'm going to be eating at my friend's house. Simply ask your friend what they're making. That way you can go ahead and have that pre-planned into your macros, right? And you're actually going into the weekend with a game plan rather than going into that situation, having no game plan, having no, idea what's going to be eaten. And in that case, we're more likely to hit Friday and be like, without like hitting Friday, if you haven't already planned that as your free meal and you don't have the rest of the weekend planned, and you go in, you're like, oh shoot, I'm eating this, I'm eating that. Oh, I'm already off track. Okay, well, I might as well start over Monday. And there you go. You've just blown it for the weekend. When in reality, if you just went ahead and pre-planned it, then you would have been golden, and you can wake up on Monday feeling good, feeling on track, and feeling free. And just a quick reminder, I did say this in the last episode, but in case you haven't heard that one, this is exactly what we're doing in my 6-week challenge. I have enrollment should still be open. I actually think it's going to be open for one more week when this episode goes live. And the really cool thing about this 6-week challenge is I have a current group who are actually at the end of their 6 weeks because this next round is about to start, which is why enrollment's open. But the really cool thing about this challenge is I do weekly audits. So for example, if you are in a situation where you have a holiday party and you're like, I have absolutely no idea how to navigate this, you submit that and I will actually do a video walkthrough of how exactly to navigate that situation. And it allows you to get into a space where you're learning to navigate the real world scenarios and actually allowing yourself to I wouldn't say allowing yourself, but getting yourself into a place where you can pre-plan with ease and learn how to go about the holiday situations and the holiday parties with ease. So you're going into the new year, actually hitting your New Year's resolutions before the new year. So you can slide into that sexy, fun, New Year's outfit, feeling good, enjoying the champagne, like living your best life and being 5 to 10 pounds down by the new year, right? Or, being in those starting steps of healing your metabolism. And it's really cool because when we're actually, and it's so simple, right? This is all coming from pre-planning, which is my number one tip to avoid that holiday weight regain and to instead actually start to lose weight and to end that binge eating. By pre-planning, you're going in with a plan. And why this works, you are in control. You are literally in control of your macros while actually enjoying the holiday festivities 100% guilt-free, okay? You are not willy-nilly going into the weekend. And I always find, always, if I have a game plan, there's a 99% chance, if not 100% chance that I will succeed. The days that I'm not planning ahead and I have no clue what's going on the weekend, right? Not as good of a chance to succeed, okay? Now, this tip number 2 is a basic one in the sense of you're going to listen to this and be like, duh, Caitlen, but it is more in depth. So really, really prioritizing your protein when you are going into these holiday parties. So say, for example, we're still going to use our example from number 1. Let's say we are going to our holiday pop-up bar on Friday and going out to dinner with friends. Saturday, I think I might have said you're baking cookies at a friend's house. You're having dinner and baking cookies at a friend's house. And then Sunday, you're baking cookies with your family. I think that's what I said. I'm already forgetting. But let's just say for these scenarios, okay, Friday's your free meal. Saturday, you've pre-planned and you have that all set up in your macros. If you need support learning how to do that, that's what we are doing in my 6-week challenge. The details are down below in the show notes for you for that challenge. And what you're going to do is really prioritize that protein. But going more into this, okay, I just had like 2 thoughts come into my head. Holiday parties are usually loaded with lots of fun food. Wait, are we going to a holiday party? Is that what my scenario was? Now I'm literally forgetting. Yes, on Saturday, the holiday party at your friend's house with cookies. Okay, like a cookie swap holiday party, okay? So there's usually a lot of really fun foods. At this specific, for example, we are also gonna have cookies there. And what I would suggest doing in this case is eating the protein-rich foods first, okay? This will help you stay full longer, number one, but it also helps you stay in a place where you're going to be less munchy when we are eating the foods that aren't as not nutrient dense, the foods that are not as protein dense. What's actually going to happen is our hunger hormones aren't going to actually start to feel satisfied. So let's say that we go get, a bowl of chips and salsa, and we're eating those chips and salsa, and we're like, gosh, I am still hungry, okay? Well, okay, I might as well go get some spinach and artichoke dip. And I'm just gonna eat that. Okay, you're eating that. Oh my gosh, I am still hungry. Well, it's because you haven't had protein to help satisfy that hunger. So you're gonna continue down that path of feeling munchy until you get some protein in you, okay? That's why I always say prioritize protein first. It's not always the most fun. I know some people absolutely love their protein. I am like the snacks and dips kind of gal, but I will always make sure I get my protein first. That way my hunger is satisfied and I will still go enjoy my chips and dip. I will still go and enjoy the cookie, but I now know that I'm not just munchy because I'm munchy. I'm actually being intentional about what I'm eating, okay? And I kind of just talked about why it works. When we're prioritizing our protein, it's going to really, really satisfy our hunger overall. And still, we can eat those yummy sides, okay? And still, we can eat those chips and salsa, okay? I want to interrupt this oh so lovely podcast episode of mine to let you know that my 6-week program to help you end the start over cycles is officially live. This is the most effective, sustainable, and fun path to ending those gosh darn start over cycles that are caused by the weekends, the social outings, the holidays, and travel. I want you to think, how many times have you painstakingly uttered the words to yourself, I will just start over again on Monday, or even turned down the sushi night with the girls, but finally giving in saying, screw it, I'm just going to restart tomorrow? What about the time, and honestly the mental space, wasted trying to avoid the buffet table at the wedding or even holiday dinner, or saying no to the ice cream cone with your kids in fear of getting off track? If you resonate with the frustration that comes from getting off track leading to those start over cycles, this 6-week challenge is for you. At this point in your weight loss and metabolism health journey, you feel you have earned the right to say yes to happy hour with the girls or that slice of frosted champagne cake at your friend's wedding without those intrusive, oh snap, am I gonna have to work this off in the morning thoughts? Imagine finally being on track with your fat loss, metabolism health, or muscle growth goals in just 6 weeks. Enrollment is only going to be open for 1 week, so make sure to take a little peruse around all the details and enroll via the link down below in my show notes labeled 6-week challenge. Cannot wait to see you inside. And don't forget, if you have any questions, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram. I am always happy to help. Next is going to be incorporating the 80-20 rule. I have been talking about this more and more just because it's something that I talk about with my clients all the time. But I think that people really underestimate how impactful the 80-20 rule is, okay? The tip is to not avoid the foods that sound super tasty to you, okay? Like, don't just avoid it. Instead, eat 80% foods that are gonna be more nutrient dense. And then 20% of those foods, the treats, the desserts, the holiday sweets, go ahead and fit those into your macros. So you're intentionally putting in there every single day, right? This is 80-20 every single day. This is what I follow. This is what I live by, okay? Therefore, you're eating the fun foods every single day. And the reason why this works is, and this is even outside of the holidays. I really want to say this too, because like my husband and the barbecue chips are like I freaking love barbecue chips, and I probably have some. That's like my go-to these days. I kind of go through phases of things that I'm just like obsessed with. Barbecue chips are them right now, and I eat some every single stinking day, okay? And it is one of those things to where, and I actually have an example in my notes, but it's one of those things that's really going to support your mental health around food and also your relationship with food, because you're allowing yourself to realize that you can have all of the foods that are a little bit less nutrient dense, which you might have previously considered quote unquote bad foods. And also you're still fueling your body with the nutrients, okay? There is no reason to be, completely cutting out all of the quote unquote bad foods. It is just about moderation, okay? And this example that I had, so after I worked out last week that day, I went to grab an iced oat milk latte. That's like my go-to. I do eat dairy. I just love the flavor of oat milk. So I got my iced oat milk latte with caramel. And I saw that there were sour cream donuts, which are my all-time favorite. Like I love sour cream donuts. And it sounded so good to me. Without even a thought, I was like, yep, I'm going to get that. I got the donut. I had half right then and there as part of my post-workout meal, and I ate the other half for dessert. Not a problem, zero guilt. I fit it into my macros and I moved on. And this is a flexible approach that really is taking into account the 80-20 rule, because if I said, no, I can't have that, I would feel restricted. I would feel unhappy. I'd feel like I'm lowering my quality of life because I genuinely love food that much. And by intentionally planning the fun foods into our macros daily, we are not feeling restricted. We are going into the holidays, enjoying the sweets and treats, knowing that we can have them while staying on track, okay? Now, tip number 4, this is for more of when you are actually in the holiday party setting. You are maybe at Thanksgiving dinner, maybe you are, some sort of holiday dinner or party or something like that. Slow down. Slow down. And this goes for more than just food, okay? We are in a society that is overstimulated, that is always rushing. We are rushing down the street. We are rushing when we're driving, and that's not good. That's dangerous. We are rushing to get ready. We are rushing to get to eat. We are always rushing. And this is not letting our nervous system feel calm, which can actually cause disruption to our digestive system, which can cause more bloat, okay? So a huge tip, number 1, is to slow down. Okay, slow down. Everybody at food, take your bites, put your fork down, put your spoon down, but to also be mindful when you're eating, okay? And this works because if we're being mindful when we're eating, we are more in tune with our hunger cues. So say, for example, we are at like our Saturday holiday party at our friend's house, the cookie exchange, whatever we wanted to say it was, and you're being mindful with your eating. You have had your protein first. Great. Awesome. You are in a place where you're like, okay, my hunger is satisfied, but I would like to munch a little bit on some chips and salsa and I want to have a cookie. Eat them slowly but surely. Don't just shove your face with the food, because then number 1, you haven't enjoyed it and you want to enjoy your food. But number 2, you might have just eaten so much. Now you're full. And now you're feeling uncomfortable. And now you're feeling the all or nothing mentality. And now you feel, well, I've already started a binge, I might as well keep going. And then that pushes you into the start over mentality. And therefore on Monday, you're feeling bad, you're feeling off track, and you're feeling like you have to start over, okay? And this last tip is a little bit uncomfortable. I will fully admit it's a little bit uncomfortable, but setting boundaries. So if you have ever been at a holiday dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, and a family member and this goes to more than just Thanksgiving. I really want you to think of these tips more than just the holidays, because they are very, very accurate for any and all situations outside of the holidays. But if you've ever finished your food and felt satisfied, you're like, I am done. And either you haven't finished the food on your plate, or there's like more in the dish in front of you that's at the table, and you've had a family member push you to eat more, saying, oh, there's a little bit left. Like, who wants it? Who wants it? And they go around the table. Oh, do you want it? Do you want it? I've been in these situations plenty of times. It is okay to say no. It is okay to say no. You are not disappointing anyone by saying no. You are allowed to say, I'm satisfied. I prefer not to overstuff myself. Kindly say thanks, but no thanks, and move on. And just setting those boundaries for those well-meaning family members, right? They're not trying to be rude. They're just genuinely, hey, there's food on the table. Who wants it? You owe nobody to finish the plate. You owe nobody to finish the bowl in the center, okay? You're not only setting those standards for yourself to stand up for yourself in those situations because it's going to make you feel better, right? You're also setting a higher standard for those around you to have the mindset that it's okay not to finish your plate. That it's okay, if you're out at a restaurant, it's okay not to finish the food on the plate. Take it home with you. Oh, you don't really want to? Okay, throw it out. I know you paid for it. My husband has had to work on this so much. He has the mindset, I've paid for it. I need to eat every single piece on this plate. I'm stuffed. I'm so full, but I gotta keep going, okay? You don't have to keep going. You do not. You do not. You will feel better if you don't. You'll be hitting your goals if you do not. You will be, your digestion will be better. Everything is just your hunger hormones are going to be better. Everything's going to be better, okay? Now, these are the 5 tips for the holidays. I really, really, truly, I want you to take these, yes, going into the holidays, but I also really want you to take them going into, the rest of your life, because they are, like I've already said, like they are very, very accurate for any and all scenarios outside of the holidays, okay? And I want you to know, if you're like, hey, Caitlen, I am obsessed with your podcast. I keep forgetting to do this, but please leave a 5-star rate and review. I keep forgetting to ask, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm forgetting to ask. Please leave a 5-star rate and review. I am a affirmation kind of gal. I love affirmations. That's my love language. So when you either, do the 5-star rate and review, when you tell me on Instagram you love my podcast, when you share that with me, it keeps me going. It makes my heart happy. It makes me smile. And it makes me, I don't know, it makes me so happy, and it makes me want to give you a hug, and it makes me excited that you're listening, and it shows me that you're listening, right? I get to put a face behind, or a name, I guess, or something behind, just a number of 100,000 listeners or downloads, right? Like I can look at the analytics and say, okay, I've had 100,000 people download and listen. It's great, cool, but who are you? Who are you? So I appreciate you so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure if you missed anything, go back, take notes, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, beautiful peach.